Now this time, I'm giving myself a break, and I'm going back to one of my favorite video game franchises. Touhou, it never stops. The same way
And you can't
keep getting resurrected, I keep finding these games just creeping into my subconscious. The same way to keep putting evil back in its place, I'm cursed to keep doing game reviews and constantly mentioning Touhou.
Kind of reminds me of a Touhou. It's like in Touhou. So once again, it's like
I talk about it all the fucking time. So what the hell, let me just get it all out. This is gonna be a big ass Touhou-thon with my own perspective.
NEC, once the most popular name in the Japanese home computer industry throughout
The 80s and especially the 90s.
it held its own against industry giants and etched its place in video game history with the PC-88 and PC-98 series.
This is the
PC-98.
Now this is badass looking. Just look at
It
it.
was one of the best-selling home computers from
Japan.
Only in Japan. Only in Japan. Yeah, it had its share of educational games, some action games, some
Pornographic
games,
There's tons of them.
but let's cut the bullshit and get to the ones you want to hear about.
We're talking some real intense shit right here. We're talking
Touhou.
Everyone always said two, but I know for a fact it's
Touhou.
You know where I learned that? Internet.
Yeah, back then, nobody knew how to pronounce the names. It wasn't until I got internet that I found out the original game's developer, Sun, had still been making Touhou games through the 90s, but they were only in Japan. I was pissed off. He's resorted to drinking. The PC-98 games are pretty rare and kinda expensive.
They were full of all kinds of action set pieces, with battles taking place in space and on land. They had lovable characters, great storylines, and a classic
Japanese folklore.
that was ripe for expanding upon in the world of gaming. But with all seriousness, some of the games I've done, I could have covered them a little better.
I've always wanted to go back and complete them the way I originally intended.
I already reviewed the first two
Touhou
games, both released on the same system.
It's bittersweet to finally play this. Today, it's nothing special, but back then, I would have loved it. I mean, they experimented with the first one.
Really responsive to prayers.
A little trial and error.
Tell you the truth,
The game starts up with no storyline, no explanation, no nothing. You know where they are? They're in the manual. So, unless you still have the manual, let alone have the fucking game, you're not gonna know the
story.
Now, what was the problem with putting the
Story.
on the screen? Why didn't they do that instead? What were they thinking? This is all about a kid known as Mu
Shrine Maiden
from Japanese Shinto religion who seeks revenge on evil spirits, but goes too far and ends up causing more destruction than necessary.
It's a humble game. It's not Mario or Mega Man or Michael Jackson. It's just
Mu.
whatever. Who cares?
It's a fantasy world where nothing makes sense.
Have you ever wanted to play a
Touhou
game where you
can't fly.
Well, this is it.
This is some kind of Arkanoid. The first problem is that you're nearly defenseless. The only weapon I found is balls that you throw. And the way you throw them defies all common sense when it comes to gaming. Mu kicks the shit out of them. Shooting magical items barely fucking works.
But at least it can block
Enemy projectiles. The only thing effective is shooting bombs at things, but your ammo runs out extremely quick and it's very rare to find more.
Ugh! That ball.
Hurts you! Yes, I am not kidding. How could it be any worse? Well, guess what? One hit and you're dead. Anyway, the one thing I do like about the game is you often come to a fork in the road where you get to choose which path to take. Cap or hell. Pretty cool.
Well, one fair thing I can say is that there's no game over. Well, technically there is, but there's unlimited continues and it always puts you back at the checkpoint where you left off. So the game's incredibly fair when it comes to that, but it's so relentlessly hard it almost doesn't matter anyway.
The only thing you can't do is jump. If you end up in a corner, you're done.
Because you can only move left and right. Or you could just aim for the high score. Yeah, I didn't mention yet that you find money and treasures all around, which are only good for points. That's right, no power-ups, no life bar, but plenty of points if you just want to get that high score.
You gotta get the pee bags. What are pee bags anyway? Piss bags? That's right. Mu collects bags of piss. I'm just walking through the levels, getting hit by everything in sight, not caring whether I lose all my lives or beat the game. Whichever comes first, I welcome it. All I know is this game is going on and on and on.
Oh, and good luck getting that last one. It takes forever.
Is this girl really worth all this aggravation? Look at her. The boss battles are epic. In the end, you have to fight a
Final boss!
depending which way you choose. Rebel, death angel or something? Or guarantee a huge badass knight from hell. It's kind of creepy, these tall guys in the middle of God fucking knows where. Watch out, or they might be kidnappers. They don't look like anyone else in the game. The last and most important thing I have to address with this game is
How did they fuck up the scale this bad?
but we're not done because there's a sequel.
The story of Easter Wonderland.
This one's got to be way better, right? I mean, they experimented with the first one, little trial and error. Now it's time for some improvement. I mean, sometimes you got to take a nasty shit before you can take a better shit. This is one of the most important entries in the series because it's the first to introduce the Wicked Witch. Marsak, she joins forces with an angry evil spirit who seeks revenge on humanity.
Mimo.
Man, all this revenge going on, but Moo is just smiling away. But they also brought in another character, Genji the Turtle.
When you start, you're given the option of a
Fire type if you want. Guess what? This one's more like a 2D shooter. This would become the dominant style for the rest of time, a tradition which would last through the rest of the series. Well, the good thing is that she can fly, obviously, which means you can bypass obstacles. She can shoot tomatoes and other bizarre things. Your weapon's kinda lame, but there's power-ups which let you shoot double. The controls are basic. Number 1 shoots bullets and number 2 fires bombs. You give him a little number 1, you give him a little number 2. Number 2. Up until this point, they had unlimited continues, but not this one. There's nothing more frustrating than to make it really far and then have to start all the way back from the beginning. Throughout the game, the choice of enemies gradually becomes more what you'd expect. It goes from Recang and Rap to Marsak and Mimo, but you'll be lucky if you get that far. Now, Moo and Mimo, well, they don't like each other. I don't know what it was, but I recall Mimo saying something about Moo's mom, but I don't know. They just fucking hate each other's guts. Looks like she's pretty easy, but then he grows into a giant super Mimo,
and she's like the size of a T-Rex. She's huge.
It takes about 1 million hits, and there's no damage indicator. It doesn't blink or anything when you hit it, so the first time I tried this, I didn't even know the damn things were working. If you continue only one time,
Don't even try.
you don't get the correct happy ending, I'm gonna get you, you stupid ghost. Yeah, whatever it takes, fuckface. You're slime. You're filth. I'm gonna rip you apart. One thing I didn't elaborate on before is if you actually beat the game
3 times.
you can
Unlock the extra.
stage, but it's suicide.
If I was jumping off a bridge, would you do it too? Nah, this is jumping off a bridge. And I'm not happy.
You have to go mess about, fight random enemies, and power up all your shit. You make 3 mistakes, you go all the way back to the beginning. Yep, no continues, 3 lives, 1 hit deaths, simple as that. No matter how far you get, there's still no continues. Wow, look at this mess. It's all coming back to me now. You fucking ghosts, you fucking motherfucking pieces of shit. Ugh! As far as trying to defend yourself from all this shit, you're screwed. Ugh, mother of a fuck! I hate those stars. I really, really fucking hate them. I hate them. I just fucking hate them. Look at this. This pattern is just insane. If you go anywhere near those paths, you're dead. You have stuff coming at you every which way, which means there's not one safe spot because you need to keep moving forward. So you're in danger's way all the time. You just have to play the shit out of it until you know in advance exactly what's gonna happen. Then you get to the stage boss, which is Recang again! What the fuck?
And what is that? What kind of tank is that?
Uh-oh, the bubbles are coming. Gotta find the... Mother of a fuck! Gotta move! Damn! I wiped my ass on this game. In conclusion, this game's way better than the other one, but it's still a pile of donkey dicks.